Welcome everybody to Friend or Foe Esports Week 6, Day 1 of the Helios League. And I hope you all are ready for a hype day of games as we head into Champ Select for Game 1 of the night. On the blue side, we have SEAL Team Chris, and rocking on the red side, we have Pentakill Team O. Please, I'm excited to get into this game and see whether STC are reverse sweeping the season like they intend to, or if PTP are looking to contest playoffs coming in a few weeks. As always, my name is Whirler, and casting alongside me tonight, we have Lolo.
Hi, brother. Well, how are you doing? I am very, very excited for the games tonight. It's going to be playoffs are getting ever closer, so every win really counts for these guys right now. And this is going to be, I think, a pretty big, pretty interesting matchup to start us off. I was talking to Songo before the game, and he said, they've obviously they had a little bit of a handicap, of course, coming into the season halfway through, or at least not being from the beginning, but they're really hungry for this one, and they feel they've been working on this a lot as a team, so should be super interesting. So let's get into the draft.
Definitely so, and it's a slow and steady one like we're not used to so far. Here, they're really thinking this one out, and I like to see it, especially for the side of SEAL Team Chris. Whatever strategies they have in store for this game, I'm excited to see and hoping it will work for them, because I'm a fan of that reverse sweep that they got planned for themselves here. 1-9 right now. They did take I think this is their second or third week here in the league. With that being said, they did take a couple losses, but they did give themselves their first win last week.
Yes,
which
absolutely.
is exciting for them. Getting back into this, getting back into the whole tournament league as a new team in the middle of the season, extremely hard to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're really, I guess, trying to cement themselves here. And as we get into the bans, it's all comfort across the board, of course. Maiden OP, as you can tell by the name, is a Yorick main. Yorick and Kled are his two main go-tos, so just taking that off the board straight away, trying to move him onto something he's obviously less familiar with. On the other side, Yasuo, I'm not soloing. It's just his bread and butter. I think he's Yasuo Yone pretty much. So and Zed as well. That I do like as a ban, just because it's a much more flexible pick, considering that I'm not soloing fairly comfortable on it, and also because of the recent changes, it is a very strong pick into the jungle. Mm-hmm. And I mean, otherwise, just trying to take strong jungle picks off the board, or potentially the volley could be flexed, but we do see that first pick Yone, and that is I'm soloing's, as I said, other go-to. So that's going to be very nice for him. He's going to get something he's very, very, very comfortable on. He's going to have as strong a lane as he possibly can, and that's what STC wants to see. And PTP with the immediate Corki counter or response to that, and that's definitely a matchup that I think they're definitely trying to skill check him a bit on this one. Of course, that's showing a lot of confidence from Graviel, who of course is moving into the mid lane this game as previously being on the jungle. We do have some roster changes we should mention on the side of PTP that does make this matchup a little bit more of an unknown for STC to move into.
And going into that, I'm excited to see these new players at PTP, because they have been for the last couple weeks sort of scrapping around with their roster, losing players and bringing some in, trying out different rosters and seeing what works. And with the addition of their new jungler and I believe support, and looking at the support's name, I'm 100% certain that is a Thresh main getting their pick.
Yes,
back to the jungler, I'm excited to see how this one's been going, because PTP have not been so lucky when it comes to having junglers on their team this season. I'm hoping this one sticks, and I'm liking the name so far. Yeah. And the draft that SEAL Team Chris has so far, with the Yone comfort pick into a Fiddlesticks Rakan, there is a plethora of ways that this comp could go, and it's a little confusing, but I'm liking what I see with the Fiddlesticks pick. It's spicy.
It's a huge amount of engage from STC right now, and also just a lot of comfort. Woof Woof does play some fiddle, and I've seen that Songo has been practicing quite a bit of the Rakan, so this is definitely what they're trying to go for. A huge amount with the quickness, with the Crow Storm, and of course with the Fates end as well. So on the other side, we have Gaming picking up a Sejuani. This has just been buffed on this patch, of course. She does a little bit more damage now. The Q'd with some reduced cooldown, I believe, and some more damage. So it's a good it's a good kind of denial pick. There is a lot of peel already coming out from PTP because they recognize that STC are going to be going for a huge kind of wombo combo engage, which they now have quite a few different ways of working around with this Thresh and this Sedge.
Definitely so, and I do like to see some buffed Sedge on 11.19 this patch. We're getting very far into this draft so far, and I do want to talk a little bit about that Rakan pick because it is a bit of a sort of a confident pick, especially for Songo, being that he has practiced the Rakan. This is definitely the potential for a Zyra Rakan lane. However, since he B3'd the pick, it is very bannable, and that is that's proof in the pudding right there how they banned it out. So that means Songo is very confident in having a lane that isn't just Zyra Rakan. He's comfortable with just Rakan by himself, which is honestly a statement in and of itself, and I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, and so STC, we're seeing some bans now going towards Vayner. The AD carry, of course, still yet to be picked up. Helios and Jinx are both open, and I feel that Helios, at least, Vayner is fairly comfortable on. So they are leaving that option open, pretty much the strongest bot lane in the game. But instead, it looks like we're going to be seeing a Ziggs coming out. Already a lot of AP damage being seen on the side of PTP right here. But it does provide them with a huge amount of wave clear and AoE damage when we get into the fights. So the Thresh Ziggs, of course, also a very, very strong lane, just allowing the Ziggs to scale, clear waves, and become a real problem into the later stages of the game. And this looks like, this is a lot of...
Go on.
I was going to say, this is a lot of confidence being shown from the STC bot lane right now. They're seeing that they're saying they want to engage onto this Ziggs Thresh early, and they want to fight. The Tristana, of course, doing a huge amount of damage early, whereas the Ziggs lacking a little bit in the early stages. Just obviously great clear, but not nearly as much 2v2 potential. The Thresh will hopefully be able to hold him back on some of that. And on top of that, the Alawi, which this is if this does get locked in, this is Trulax's go-to. So a huge amount of comfort on the side of STC with the Alawi, the Yone, just all across the board. I think they've gotten pretty much everything they wanted out of this draft already.
And looking at their team so far, if STC are able to get that dream team fight they wanted with all this engage that they have, this looking pretty deadly. With a Fiddle Alawi ult by itself is already scary. And seeing Yone engage on top of that with a Rakan charming everyone, and Tristana doing what we love on Tristana, being able to jump in as the AD carry and jump on out, picking up kills one by one. That's a good counter pick into it, though. I do like them picking up Mordekaiser. It lets them pick out certain parts of their engage. And usually if it's Alawi, she's in a very terrible spot where there are no tentacles to her liking. Tristana is a good ulti as well, due to just pulling an AD carry away from a fight is honestly the best thing you can do. Yone himself, I don't see... Yone and Rakan aren't the best ultis for Mordekaiser, but Fiddlesticks is also another good one. So 3 insanely good Mordekaiser ultis with a possibility in these team fights are going to be extremely favored for this Mordekaiser so far. Going into this game, I really want to give my prediction over to SEAL Team Chris. I like the amount of comfort they have. I like what they have planned, sort of in a team fight sense. I just want to see them take it on paper and put it into the game. What do you think, Lolo?
I also would love to see, I think the STC have gotten as good of a game as they could be getting from this draft. I do like the draft a lot. It definitely has a very clear idea of what it wants to be doing. It's got a lot of power early. I think particularly if this Alawi can last out the laning phase relatively well, that's definitely going to be the hardest lane in terms of matchups. The Mordekaiser, of course, did also receive a buff on this patch, the E with a little bit less cooldown, making him allowed to take some more aggressive trades early. And as you said, providing a great way of kind of zoning in, kind of isolating different members in fights, which is going to try to mitigate a bit of the wombo combo they've got. The big problem I do see from for PTP as well is there is very little AD scaling on their side right now. Corki, of course, relatively focused towards AP scaling. So they are just kind of banking on the fact that this is a relatively squishy team besides the Alawi, so they should be able to navigate the fights okay. But yeah, overall, definitely feeling STC have gotten all they could want, and I'm excited to see them try to make that miracle run happen if they can get this in the bag.
Definitely so. And we're starting it off pretty spicy over here on the blue side. Fiddle doing a solo clear, going to do the 2 camp clear that Fiddle is able to do. Sejuani starting the bottom side of the map as well. So opposite starts for the junglers will mean a lot coming into it later. I don't think Fiddle succeeded with the... Looking at his CS, I think he has failed to succeed on the double camp clear. One of them definitely restarted, which is very unfortunate for him. Will slow him down exponentially. Sejuani is already on camp number 3 and finishing it quite soon. Taking our eyes away from the jungle, though, Mordekaiser getting a good push up into the top lane.
Yeah.
Definitely going to deny Alawi a lot of pressure. And for some reason, Ziggs is getting pushed in. Wow, that's a good trade for Mordekaiser.
It is. I mean, with the level 2 being picked up very quickly from the side of STC, they really don't want to be moving up, even with this Thresh. You know, the amount of burst damage coming in from that Tristana, including, you know, the Rakan's ability to get in and try to lock down the Ziggs is... They're just going to try to play it as safe as possible, because also they know that their jungler's nowhere nearby to provide any assistance. And I mean, the Mordekaiser matchup, it is definitely going to be the most difficult, of course, of these 3 lanes for STC, as we already seen some very nice trades for main OP, particularly the fact that he just out-sustains the Alawi anyway in terms of mana. He has no mana management to worry about. Ooh, nice knock-up.
Songo getting a good engage on the 2, but a Thresh hook going to hook Gohan in pretty close to him. Going to trade with Gohan's E. Not going to matter too much. The trade is going to fall even, but Graviel taking a bunch of damage from I'm Soloing so far. Almost taken to 1 HP. He does have the sustain to sort of get himself back up. Meanwhile, Yone does not.
Oh,
so
nice.
It will end up being even at the end of the day. Trulax getting ganked up in the top lane. GL Esports getting some good damage on Trulax, following with the stun. Made an OP, too scared of the tentacles to respond to it.
Oh, wow.
Left out 1 HP. Should have the shield just in case things go awry, but it's not going to. Both top laners going to be left at 1. That's a little scary.
Yeah, and Trulax, very, very crucial there that he managed to land the tentacle, the E onto main OP just before that gank happened, because the slow from that pulling maiden OP away, so he wasn't able to contribute anything. We did see quite a lot of damage coming in from the Sedge with those buffs, but just not quite enough. He doesn't have to burn the flash or anything, and overall, this is actually going to give Woof a bit more time to start, you know, working on the CS, and he's going to get himself an early base off after taking those Krugs, so that's quite nice for them. Overall, this is already looking like a pretty good start for STC.
Definitely so. And in the top lane, Mordekaiser has the passive. Trulax going to back away from that one. It's still even up here in terms of HP. Mordekaiser does have that heal if he ever does want to expend it. The bar did go down, so I'm assuming, looking at his HP bar, that he did choose to sustain up. The potions on both sides are gone. This top lane is looking like a chess match in and of itself, but Mordekaiser has a nice CS lead. Trulax got the flash out of the E. Very well placed by Maiden OP. That's going to put him behind just a little bit, as he's still getting a lot of damage. Evening out the CS just a little bit. It should be just under 10 CS. And good W from Songo to get a trade on the Soul Warden. That will be half of his HP gone due to that. And not traded back either. So that's really good for the bot lane of STC.
Yeah, and up there, of course, Trulax having to burn the flash there. And I mean, when the Mordekaiser has the wave, there's very little that the Alawi can do, especially when the tentacles aren't there. Because if she can't land that E, then there really isn't in a world in which she wins trades against this Mordekaiser. If she does, that's the problem. Sort of the problem and the saving grace of the champion. You know, if you can get if you can get that off, then great. But if you can't, then really that's just, you have to be landing that ability. That's absolutely paramount. So with the wave now, I mean, with the early TP off, then Trulax, as we can see, is already scaling towards magic resistance. Not surprising at all, given the amount of AP sitting on the side of PTP right now.
Ooh,
and a gank
to
the mid lane.
Coming in here. I'm soloing, getting a good knock up, and Graviel going to take him out to half. Graviel already buying the Executioner's Calling. Is going to be... I don't know how much I like that item on Corki. However, it does still apply to most of his damage, since it does deal physical still. Just only very little physical. It will always proc the Executioner's passive, which is Grievous Wounds. Not too bad. I was
There
getting
you
good
go.
soul pull
There
up
you
here.
go. No,
It's
he
going
doesn't
to
win this.
result.
He
This is
doesn't win
definitely going to
this.
result in
No.
a kill. Maiden OP is going to be taken out. Alawi going to win the 1v1 in the top lane. The chess game is finished. The king is gone. And speaking of which, Cloud Dragon is going to be taken from STC. And Fiddlesticks is on the ball when it comes to these jungle rotations.
Absolutely, yeah. Huge, as we saw, lots of priority for STC in both the mid and bot side, and now in the top side as well. I mean, once... Oh, hello.
Oh, I'm soloing,
Nice,
going for
nice.
more. He has the ulti. He's ready to use it. Burning the flash as well from Graviel and the fadeaway ignite with the E damage as I'm soloing pulls back on his E is going to be enough to put Graviel in his grave.
And I mean, already just over a 1k gold lead for it. I mean, STC, as we said, they've got everything. They've got champs they're comfortable on. They're looking very confident right now. And I mean, you know, Gravel's got TP, so it's not the end of the world. He is going to be able to come up and catch that wave. But yes, a lot of priority in the bot side river now for STC. But I mean, gaming is going to be looking to move into the top side river and try to get some pressure onto this Alawi, she's already got herself a Spectre's Cow, and is just going to become more and more tanky against all these AP threats.
And Spectre's Cowl in lane actually provides a lot of useful sustain, especially against someone like Mordekaiser, who just keeps throwing those abilities out at you on cooldown just because he doesn't have a mana bar to expend. It's not all for naught at the end of the day, because Mordekaiser isn't really looking to win this lane. He's just looking to get out of it and get into these team fights where he matters. That being said, he's still even in CS, giving him that sort of leg up. But this Spectre's Cowl is just going to make the 1v1 unkillable for Maiden OP to get himself ahead in the lane. So he just needs to get out of it at this point.
He does, absolutely. And I mean, you mentioned scaling there. I do agree that there is some very strong scaling on the side of PTP right now with this Corki and this Ziggs, but they're both quite, with the amount of engage, particularly just with the quickness and everything that follows it up on the side of STC, they're very there is a lot of peel. There is a lot of peel from the Thresh, but I do worry for them a little bit, just if they are going to try to play a scaling game here, because in the fights, there's so many things that they're going to have to deal with on the side of STC to stop their carries from getting blown up. So, and I mean, if we talk about scaling, I mean, this Tristana scales beautifully. The Alawi will do fine, honestly, and the Yone, the Fiddle, they're all going to be doing larger quantities of damage in the later stages of the game. So it's something that PTP have to be watching out for, I think, a little bit, as again, the bot lane is going to get pushed in.
Definitely so. Level 6 on both bot laners here. Gohan and Songo are looking to sort of pressure up this bot lane, able to push every wave so far, which is surprising against the Ziggs. Because usually you see that champion doing everything, and I'm soloing, just getting good trades here in this mid lane. We do have Woof Woof here with the ulti and the flash, ready to be used on 2 down here. Songo is pushing up just a little bit, looking to get it. I don't think this should be able to work. However,
Gaming's here as well.
Gaming is off to the side. This could be a 3v3 in the bot lane if Woof Woof stays just
what is he doing over there?
Oh my god.
Let's go soloing.
I mean, they don't even there's not even time to speak in here. We're going for the 3v3.
Beautiful.
Fiddle ulti coming out. Let's see how this one goes before I even touch on mid lane. We're slowed down just a little bit, but we're just building up the hype for this one as Woof Woof is looking to get the ulti on here. That's going to fear 2. They're going to run towards Gohan. Gohan's just going to be able to auto relentlessly into them. And Tristana's going to be able to pick up a kill before GL Esports is even able to get there. But here in this mid lane, I'm soloing is doing his job. Go Lolo.
So Sylvan not even able to get off the exhaust in that, because it was so fast. You couldn't ask for more from a Fiddle ult right there. That is bread and butter right there. That's everything they could want. And up there in the top side, I mean, all 3 lanes right now, it's so hard for gaming. I mean, he's doing fairly well. He's keeping even on CS, but in terms of objectives, I mean, this Drake is now spawning in 50 seconds time, and all of his lanes are getting shoved in, and we've got pretty big leads across the board now. This Yone is looking absolutely terrifying. Grabiel with the immediate response in draft with the Corki is not paying dividends right now. This Yone is, well, He will be delayed with the Zeal, but of course that is a classic. If you are ahead enough, you have the resources, you do pick the Zeal up for some extra attack speed and movement speed. So, yeah, they have to be really worried. They do have control of the bot side river as it stands, so they will get priority on this Drake. But if we do see a rotation from the side of STC right now, I'm pretty sure the fight will be theirs.
And one thing that is worth noting is Woof Woof does not have ulti for 38 seconds right now. So with the Dragon coming up in 5, I don't think that they're going to be able to contest this at too much as they're drawing into the top lane. Gonna 3v1 the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser taking Woof Woof to the Shadow Realm while the other two are waiting in the wings for their return, and I'm Soloing is going to be able to pick that up. So they decided that they don't want to try to team fight for this Dragon and instead try to make a play in the top side. They're going to give over the Ocean Dragon, which is bugged on the Spectre to save, which is actually really funny. But it's going to be an Infernal map, and they're going to trade this one. Gohan is in the wrong area right now. With all the resources put into the top lane, he is definitely down there by himself. So being near the Dragon Pit at this point was a bit of a mistake. Going to give over a kill to the Thresh.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Gohan wants to be sitting there. I mean, I guess a steal is a potential possibility, but really, you see the wave is getting shoved in right now by a Ziggs. Like, you should just be going to go and pick that up. But either way, they do pick up the Herald. They can put it into the mid lane now, which, you know, has already been completely dominated by the Sione, now sitting at 3-0-0 and just monstrous already. So they can put it there. Most likely just open the map up for him to start side laning, and they're going to have to put PTP are going to have to put quite a lot of resources into into shutting him down, because he really is, you know, he's on a tear right now, as we see Graviel almost going down again there.
Definitely so. GL Esports not in a good spot. He's got 3 on him, and a Rift Herald off to the side is going to be able to give them a lot of pressure to be able to take tier 1. And that's going to be the first tower of the game. And Sejuani hasn't learned her lesson the first time, so she's got to learn again. That's going to be Sejuani going down under the tower. I'm soloing on a rampage, 4-0 right now. He's going to be able to finish one of those items after this back. They're not going to be able to get the tower here. However, they will definitely be taking that paycheck.
Yeah, and again, I mean, I understand gaming trying to mitigate the, you know, this Herald play, but really, they just don't have the PTP right now. Oh, he's dead again. Oh God.
I even have to consider what's going on right now? I mean, I'm soloing just has Graviel in check at this point, and if Graviel steps an inch further from his turret, I'm soloing is just on the ball, ready to ulti him, ready to full combo him, going back on the E to deal the extra damage, and it's just not looking pretty for him. He does have the TP. His tower is guaranteed still alive. GL Esports going to be dying on repeat. He's not going to be able to go down on this one, though. So I'm soloing. Still has about 10 million gold to spend here. Let's do Vandal, forced to flash away from the Lantern. Going to be able to stay alive. However, this tower, not the same.
No, and that's first turret being put onto the Tristana, which is exactly who they could want right now, getting her, you know, a bit more of a lead. We are going to see a potential gank up here in the top side, but look at all the tentacles. This is really risky.
Yeah, especially with I'm soloing 5-0 off in the wings, ready to defend his mate. Trulax is sitting pretty comfortably up here. All those tentacles, as you said, a TP from Graviel. He does have the package, I presume, as he is ready to fight this one. It does not look like he has package, actually. So Graviel just TPing for some insurance. They're going to be able to get out of this one just fine. And I'm soloing. Still looking to spend that 1 million gold he has chilling in his pockets. Not too sure exactly when that's going to happen.
Oh, Graviel, what are you doing?
Graviel's so behind at this point that I'm soloing is just able to do this with no problem at all. GL Esports looking to take Wolf's blue buff is going to succeed, but will he pay the price on that one? Still holding the flash, able to get out just fine. He's going to be able to take that one to the bank. And honestly, I'm hoping I'm soloing can take it to the bank soon, because how much gold does he have sitting in his pockets right now? It has to be way too much.
It will be a huge quantity of gold. Yeah, he's sitting on almost 3k. And
he can finish both items at this point.
I think he probably can, although most likely he will sit on the Zeal for quite a while and just move straight into the Infinity Edge as his second. But either way, okay, Songo. Ooh, nicely played from Songo. They're managing to stay alive, and
Absolutely. And the blast
Gohan.
coming out from Corki is going to be enough to sort of draw Gohan away from his team, but Gohan's able to Buster Shot him in two. Soul Warden's not going to be so lucky, does not have sort of resources to get out of that one. Tristana going to jump out of the way, get back to her team, and they're going to be able to look to push this. And I'm not too sure if they're not. It's smart not to. Dragon coming up in less than a minute. Yone has to, at this point, and I mean has to, purchase those items because full items are being finished on the side of PTP. So it's time to see an Immortal Shield Bow come out.
It is, and he's going to go for the Executioners, which makes a lot of sense. Although, I mean, obviously a huge amount of sustain coming out from this Mordekaiser already. The Corki, however, Graviel hasn't opted to go for the Shield Bow, which is the standard mythic on the Corki still. He's getting himself that Mirror Mana just for as much early damage spike as possible to make himself relevant in fights, which is very understandable. Oh, is he dead?
And he is dead again. The Ignite going to take him down. It's going to be enough.
Lord.
Songo is going to take that one. Goodness me, this is quite a game we have here. And Dragon coming up in a minute or in 1 second means that Graviel has picked the wrong time to go down. Gohan's not even going to pay attention to the Dragon. Going to take this mid tower for free. And that's an Infernal Drake handed over on a silver platter to STC.
And this Infernal Soul, I mean, of course, the Ziggs and the Corki would love to have that, but on the other side, I mean, Tristana, I mean, Yone, Fiddle, all of them will just melt through anything with the doesn't matter how tanky this Sedge is, with the Infernal Soul in deck as well. So that is STC. It's really their game to lose at this point. They're about 7k gold up, and just fights across the map are still happening. I mean, Maiden OP doesn't win this. I'm sorry.
Not in the slightest. Trulax is, oh my god.
I am. And you know what happened there? And I cursed him. I really did. Is that this is the one thing I did want to mention about the Mordekaiser matchup with the Alawi, is that he can pull her away. He can pull her away from her tentacles.
Hold on from that as GL Esports is taken to 1 HP already. Songo is going to get stunned up by the True Ice, but it's not going to matter too much. Wolf going in on the ulti. Everyone left at 1 HP.
Oh, wow.
You need them. I see exactly what's going on here. Maiden OP going to come out and try to clean this one up as he can. But that's going to be a 2-for-4 trade for STC in total, with Alawi coming back up in a couple seconds. In reality, 1-for-4 for STC.
I mean, yes, absolutely. And I feel a bit bad. I'm so sorry that Trulax that I did curse you like that, because that is the thing, of course, is that once she has dropped the leap of faith like that, then he can just put her in the death realm, all the tentacles go away, and suddenly the matchup becomes a lot more in his favor. But it doesn't really matter too much. Did you see the amount of sustain coming out from this Fiddle, by the way? I mean, he had 3 targets to drain life from, and he lasted way longer than he should have there. Maiden OP eventually managed to pick up the kill, but we talk about all of this action that's happening in the top side. So soloing is just the map is his oyster at the moment. He can really go wherever he pleases, and no one on the side of PTP can match him at the moment. He's been down there clearing out camps in the bot side red jungle. He's now up there in the top contesting red again. He really wants to get this red off of gaming.
I think he's going to be able to do it. The E is going to pull him back here in a couple seconds, but they are able to secure the red buff to themselves. Actually, no, Vanal got that one. Able to steal it back. Goes into the pockets of the team it was on regardless. It does go on a Ziggs, which is a little bit sad, but at least the Tristana doesn't get it for free, which would be infinitely scarier.
It is. And I mean, if we look at how can PTP get themselves back into this game? Because still, this is really STC's game to lose at the moment. They have priority on all 3 lanes. The Drake is they have Drake priority. I mean, the Baron's just spawned as well, and there's really no way that at the moment that PTP can contest it. Whereas there is so much damage sitting on the side of STC that if they do get a pick here, they can just rotate to Baron if should they wish to. But for PTP, I mean, they do have. We did see that, if STC do overextend like they did previously, their wallets are very large, but they do have a lot of lockdown. If the Mordekaiser, I don't think Gohan wins this. No.
Speaking of which, Buster Shot coming out, pushing Maiden OP away, but in the Shadow Realm, just barely getting out alive here, busting out the heal to ensure to stay alive. I'm soloing, waiting in the wings. to pick that one up, save his buddy, gets the knock up on Graviel. Package going to take Gohan really low. He's almost going to go down, and Sejuani's going to be able to pick that one up with the Chilling Smite. I'm Soloing should be able to clean that one up just fine. It's looking pretty scary up there, actually. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the turret dive under tier 2 is going to seal the deal for the STC. And in the top lane, I'm Soloing is able to win that 1v1. Picks up a triple kill for himself, which 8-0 right now on this Yone, pushing up the top lane. STC in the mid lane getting ready to push this one out as well. This is looking really good for SEAL Team Chris so far.
It is, and I mean, they could have gone and rotated to Baron there, but at the moment, I suppose they just decided they don't need it. I mean, Soloing right now, up here on this top side, he's going to draw so much aggro here. Maiden OP can try to match him, but realistically, even with the ult, it's not going to matter. I just think he's too far ahead at this point, particularly with the more reminder stopping some of the the sustain the Mordekaiser wants to be having. So. In the fight. So, Soloing's going to go get a base off, and he may be sitting on most of an Infinity Edge at this point. I do like the move to the Mortal Reminder. I think that this is, it's a nice adaptation given the amount of sustain sitting on the side of PTP. The Drake is about to spawn, and whilst PTP do have control of the river right now, with the rotation, whilst STC had to go back and spend as much of that gold as possible. Now they have all of this gold. I mean, the Tristana's sitting on a Wit's End. She's got 2 items. The Alawi, with the first item, Spirit Visage, is very, very difficult to kill, given that almost all of their damage is AP, and they just have to back away. I mean, Songo can just walk up to them and threaten them on his own.
And the second Rift Herald of the game is going to be pushed into the mid lane. Gohan going to drop that one off like daycare, and they're going to escort it right into the mid lane base. Tier 3 is in a lot of trouble right now as PTP are looking to defend this as much as they can. They have wave clear. I don't know if they have enough to stop this push from happening. I'm Soloing alone is making them back off. But all 5 members of STC being here, this is going to look pretty nasty for them, as Maiden OP up in the top lane is going to get a bit of split push off and TP into the fight. Graviel forced to W away off the other side. Maiden OP coming into the fray, half health. Woof Woof is going to go down from half to 0, but Alawi is getting good damage off so far. She is stuck in the Shadow Realm at the current moment. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Gohan is going to be able to take out GL Esports, and a good ulti from I'm Soloing is going to keep that one going as Gohan getting more damage. Maiden OP is going to be able to pull Gohan in, but it's not going to matter. He does so much damage. Triple kill coming out. Banal with the satchel charge is going to be enough to push Gohan away, and the E from I'm Soloing, good heal to keep him alive, or not heal, but rather lifesteal to keep him alive, and Gohan is able to pick up the inhib for himself. Let's do Vanal alone in the base, left to see his team in shambles.
And really, I mean, STC, they did overextend there. Songo going in to try to get a quickness off. Very understandable. They are so far ahead that, as we saw just then, they really, any fight they take, no matter how unfavorable, they do just seem to win out over time because of the amount of sustain sitting on these carries. I mean, once Gaming did get a very nice Sejuani ult off the Glacial Prison, I think it's called. But either way, basically, he managed to get a huge ult off onto 5 members. It looks fantastic turn for the side of PTP, but I mean, because they don't kill the carries early, Soloing's still alive, Gohan's still alive. They managed, to focus down onto Trulax, but Trulax buys so much time, a gigantic leap of faith we saw just then, and with all those tentacles, it took way too long for them to try to burst him down because of the amount of sustain coming from those tentacle slams. And once Soloing comes back in with a giant fate sealed, I mean, there's nothing they can do really. They just see their health bars disintegrate while the Siones is pretty much sitting at maximum the entire time.
Definitely so. Hook coming out from the Thresh. Going to go wide. Not going to start anything just yet. Songo disrespectfully standing forward saying, you can't do nothing about this, which is exactly what I like to see coming out from this. Rakan playing his character to the T. And honestly, PTP cannot do anything around this Baron. As long as STC are sitting the way they are. Maiden OP is caught out over here, and this could be really bad. Buster shot into 3. He's going to be able to put him into the Shadow Realm, but almost, actually. Well, didn't even finish the animation before he was able to go down to 4 members up here in this top lane.
Yeah, I thought he might have picked up Gohan for a second, but Gohan, I mean, really great use to the Buster Shot just to get the Mordekaiser away from him so he could continue to kite. Gaming does look like he might be trying to go for something here, but realistically, I mean...
Oh,
let's go!
Gaming going in. He's going to be able to steal that one, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. Gohan jumping over the wall with Wolf with the flash ulti. He's going to be able to pick that one up, and they're going to only lose 2 members. They're going to pick up the Baron, or they're not going to pick up the Baron on that regard, but PTP able to steal that Baron away, which is honestly... It doesn't matter too much. I don't think STC mind. However, that is still huge from them. That's 1,500 gold denied. They did lose members for it. With the Baron, they are able to defend the base accordingly. Dragon Soul coming up here in 1 minute. Let's see what they're able to do with this. They have a couple members still alive with this Baron. That's extremely valuable for PTP to be able to get back into this game. And honestly, it closed out the gold lead just a little bit. Only 10k now, despite 12. Or rather, from the 12 that was just a moment ago. That is extremely well for PTP.
Yeah, that's a little bit of copium right there. Only 10k. I mean, the thing is, PTP will be really happy with that. Clutch stuff from Gaming right there. Really impressive just to get, the Sejani ult over the wall. And I mean, they are starting to scale. Graviel has now got that shield bow on deck, and Vaynel has been quietly farming up as best he can. He's now sitting on 2 items and working on a third. So he's got quite a lot of sustained damage. We saw how, Woof was not able to sustain through him at all anymore. So, and with this Sejuani becoming tankier and tankier with the anathemas that she's most likely going to put down on this raid boss Yone to lock down some of his tenacity, make him a little bit more burstable if they can get something on him.
And speaking of which, Yone coming over the wall, going to deal half to Soul Ward, and Songo getting a good CC chain off on the 2. Gohan going to jump in there. Wolf's going to pick up 1. I'm soloing on the other. Graviel getting zoned out by Gohan, and meanwhile on the other end, let's do Vaynel. Not even a problem to go down on that one. GL Esports stuck on Gohan. The stun is going through, and I think he's going to be able to go down no problem over there. Infernal Dragon still up. Are they going to still go for it, or are they going to try to fight in the base? I'm soloing Ian forward. He's going to get the knock up on a Sejuani. Sejuani's going down, and that is good for them. They're going to look to end this game. Screw the soul. They're going for the end. Graviel going to try to wave clear this as much as he can. He does not have Baron to be able to do this. I'm soloing, going for more damage. Graviel very low, and that little bit of base healing was just enough to keep him alive. Soul Ward and get cooked on onto Songo, and Wolf almost getting hit into the fountain. Not gonna matter too much at all. STC are happy to take this game and give themselves their 2nd win of the season. Victory for SEAL Team Chris.
And we didn't talk about it previously, but this really was a skin diff game. Just to add there, of course, the skin literally dropping hours before this game started, and that I think it's that Dawnbringer Yone just absolutely running a tear in this game, and perfect from him. And the damage coming out just from all of these members. I mean, I suppose we talked about this a lot in draft, and really fully moving towards an AP lineup when you do have, an Alawi that can just try to make herself as unkillable as possible. Not to mention, they didn't really have too many. Basically, the only lane that had much of a chance of winning, if I'm honest, was the Mordekaiser, just because there were worlds in which, the Corki can try to outplay a Yone in lane, but I think that was a very, very bold decision running that straight into him, and soloing just punished Graviel over and over for it. So big win for STC. Really, really, nice to see them bouncing back after their first couple of weeks.
Definitely so. I am shocked to see Gohan take those charts after what I saw Yone do. Perfect game, 12-0. Gohan taking the lead in terms of damage. However, the almost 4-item Tristana is indeed scary. Don't go anywhere, because we have an interview with our winners here in just a little bit. And I'm so excited for STC to get their time on the big screen. Don't go anywhere. We will see you very soon. Don't click that browser.
I feel pretty good right now. It's nice to see a victory screen. I think we did pretty well.
Yeah, and definitely now everyone should be able to hear me after my audio input reset. Thank you, Streamlabs. We're always appreciate it. So anyway, folks, joined here obviously by SEAL Team Chris's Gohan after the big win, and I want to ask you first about what your thoughts were on this draft. It was it was a head scratcher. I'm gonna be real with you on some aspects of it. So just give me what are your thoughts on this draft? I liked pulling out the Trulax special. That's his top champion. And also you got to pull out this Tristana into the Ziggs matchup. What were your thoughts on what you were going into, what you folks had, and what you're up against?
So first of all, the Volibear ban on the other side was definitely a head scratcher for us. So we're like, oh, obviously easy Yone angle here. That was pretty easy. The Fiddlesticks, that's kind of like I'm not saying this is some pocket pick, but it's something we're pretty good at. It's something we're comfortable with. So definitely, I can see the head scratching of the draft there. I get that, but it's stuff we're comfortable on, and I think we played it pretty well. Into a Ziggs, I hate AP bot laners so much, but it's not too bad of a matchup, right? Especially when you're able to keep a consistent CS lead and you're able to push back against the Ziggs. If they run out of mana, it's really not that bad of a lane in my opinion. It's something I feel pretty comfortable into. So across the board, I think our lanes are pretty solid. We had winning matchups across the board. Nothing too countery in lane really. I thought our draft was pretty solid. I had a pretty good time. I think it was a really good comp. Like you said, a little head scratchy, and that's fine. Always something to work on, right? But I thought overall pretty solid. It's stuff we're good on, and I thought it was a very good time.
The head scratchy came more from the other end, to be fair. Although the fiddle is not super common. I'm pretty aware of the rest of those champions. I know where they come from on your end. All of those things, and you performed admirably on them today as well. So let's dial in onto this game here. You were laning up against the Ziggs, as we just said. Your lane was not the one that was popping off super hard early. It seems like you guys were going steady up until you made a little visitation by some friends down on the bot side, and you were a little surprised. How did that turn out?
You talking about the Dragon Pit incident?
Oh, yeah. There's a little something down by the Dragon Pit.
Yeah. Okay, so things are popping off. My boy Nick on the Yone is just going nuts. He's doing some John Wick stuff, running around the map, but with swords, having a good time. And my boy Christopher, Chris Songo, he's like, hey man, we should go mid here. I'm like, I think we should clear bot, but I'm gonna trust my shot caller here. I walk through Dragon Pit, walk through around the backside, get hooked, and Chris immediately goes, uh-oh, I baited you. And sure enough, I did get a little baited. But after that, it was popped off. Right after that, they got a little bit of momentum, but I mean, that was one of their only kills, right? And we were able to just, after that, jump into some fights, do some crazy stuff. I'm a firm believer of the Tristana W should never be on cooldown. Jumping in, doing crazy stuff, seeing if we can get kills, and ended up working out, despite maybe a little bit of inting.
Yeah, what's a little inting between friends when you come out with the win? So
exactly,
I think it all worked out.
Exactly.
And that one thing that we noticed at the end is that although I'm Soloing was really flashy on the brand new, fresh off the lot Dawnbringer Yone. But it turns out you actually did the most damage in the game by a considerable amount. So it didn't go. It went a little unnoticed during the game, especially because you were doing some of the tactical plays and less of the Danny plays every now and then. But in the end, you do come out at the top of the damage charts. So tip that to you on that.
Tristy's powerful.
Let's talk about your remaining matchups. So coming up, you do have some pretty heavy hitting matchups. You're slated to go against In the Trees tomorrow, and then looking at Coin Flip and then Terracotta coming up in the final week. What are your thoughts on how you folks can end this season? In the regular season, to be clear, is what I mean.
Season, right. Yes, no, you're good. Obviously, as a lot of people know, we came in into a pretty losing record already, picking up another team's record and standings. So definitely a little hard, right? But the thing is, I think we're really starting to mesh. Practice is going really well when we are getting consistent scrims and doing stuff like that. I'm feeling really confident in us right now. Chris told me we have to beat INT no matter what tomorrow. He said that's the thing we have to do, so I got to do it for him. Coin flip, all I can say is I win the coin flip. I got a heads every time, baby. TG, not too worried. Sure, they're a strong team, but I think we've got a good mental. I think we've got a decent team all the way around. I think we are good. I think we're really getting to it, and I think we've got something to prove here. All I gotta say is, Double have taught me something. That's everybody else's trash, right? I'm looking to make a statement. I'm doing top deeps. I'm ready to win.
Dude, this guy is a top tier hopium salesman.
100%. Drink that stuff in my coffee.
To get it into my veins. All right, Gohan, thank you so much for this interview. Congrats, SEAL Team Chris. Before we step away, though, any final thoughts, any shout-outs, any banter you haven't had an opportunity to get out yet?
Not really. I don't know enough people to talk trash yet, so that's fine. But overall, I'm having a great time. There's some good competition here. Most people are welcoming and great. I've had a great time. You guys are great. I'll see you guys after playoffs when you guys are below us and we're first place, and that's fine.
Hell yeah, love it. Love the ambition, and I love that you're talking trash, letting people know that just because the numbers look one way, the power level is not so. So we look forward to seeing SEAL Team Chris close out the season. And folks, that's going to be it for our interview here. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back with our second game tonight between Restless Leg Syndrome and Coin Flip Gaming. So don't go anywhere.